I'm Diary of a Singh, and we're here to talk about Australian Survivor. I've got my RHAP shirt. So, uh, I hope that you guys enjoyed that I uploaded some of the videos. I thought it was going to be a little bit more convenient. I was watching the videos myself, and I thought, why not just upload it for the community? And boy, I I can't say that I know everybody on this season, but it's been pretty good so far. First episode, let's and anybody who hasn't caught up with episodes 1 and 2 of Australian Survivor, uh this is a spoiler live chat, so just gonna let you know, if you have not watched episodes 1 and 2, you should definitely not be viewing this live chat. So where to begin? um I guess strength doesn't matter, and I kind of love it. I love the chaos of this entire season so far. And, just looking at the very first episode, we see the overconfidence of Rob. And I saw some of his exit interviews, and he basically talked about how he didn't really know anybody on the season except for the Australian players. And he kind of vaguely knew Tony from various clips and all that. But ultimately, it seems like he uh, just wanted to bulldoze the game the way he did as far as playing with newbies. I did not watch his season of South African Survivor, but it looks like his modus operandi is kind of like a Boston Rob Redemption Island type of like forming a cult and just carrying that all the way through. And he clearly has the challenge abilities to do so. But I think there's a lot of hubris that goes into that where it doesn't exactly work with returning players. So that was a huge, huge flaw in his game. Um, and so I was watching it and I was thinking, okay, how is first I was thinking how's Sari going to get out of this, and then became clear that it was actually Parvati that could have been the person to go. And I was like, I know they're both gonna make it. They're both gonna make it. They have to make it, right? But then I wasn't so sure. And you look at the first episode, and Rob was so sure that the world was going to stick together and America was going to lose one of their players. And I think he didn't stop and realize that you can't dictate to players of this caliber. You can't dictate to international players in that way. So his own hubris got the best of him, and I think that that was really really interesting. So it's one of those things where his laugh is infectious. By the way, I thought that Rob had a very infectious laugh, and one thing that I did appreciate about him is he is very. It seems like he is a good sport about playing terribly and going out first. I did take exception to him saying that Lisa and Suri didn't do anything. I'm pretty sure they won their head up challenges in the reward challenge in the first episode. So Rob's just not correct on that front. So, and the challenge that he's saying that he was a big contributor to, the immunity challenge, is the one they lost that caused him to go home. So I think that, yes, obviously Suri and Lisa, they don't have like the actual strength to do well or whatever, but it was kind of off base in his exit interviews that Rob said that, because it's like, okay, Suri and Lisa, they actually won their head to head. They rang the bell and won their head to head challenge. So that's whatever. But, I couldn't ask for a better start. And when I saw that Lisa was a fan of Suri, and Lisa, I haven't seen her season, but she's a winner. And I've been told that her season's one of the better New Zealand seasons, possibly the best New Zealand season. And so, like, she does not come across as a winner. She comes across as like this nerdy fangirl, which she might be both, right? But like, I think that Lisa is somebody to look out for that very reason. I think that she's going to be very someone who is going to be overlooked, and but she has a ton of personality. So I thought she was very interesting. And then we go forward to episode 2, and Man, the Golden God, who has apparently been announced that David is going to replace JLP as the new host of Australian Survivor. So I don't know if you guys have heard this yet, but David is going to replace JLP. I've not seen David on a previous Australian Survivor season, but I saw him on Deal or No Deal Island. Saw him win 5.8 million USD. Which is insane. It's life changing. And so, one of the things that was said about why JLP was let go, I guess Channel 10 in Australia has some budgetary concerns because they're not doing well financially. So, JLP cost them too much. And there was an interview in the past, I think it was on Rob Has a Podcast, where basically David was talking about how he's won enough money where he's set himself and his family up for quite some time, generational wealth. And for that, and so he just basically is doing what he wants. And he talked about how it gives him that added comfort that he can do whatever he wants and not have to worry about money. And of course, he's not doing this for free, but I think based on what we know, it looks like they were able to sign David as the host for Australian Survivor going forward for cheaper than they could get JLP. And I'm sure that part of it is that he would do this for free, but obviously you can't work for free. That's slavery. So, but he has $5.8 million. So he's willing to take a pay cut to do something that he loves. And I kind of dig that. Not everybody is able to do that. So I dig that. But where did it go wrong for David? And the thing is that like I, I'm still wrapping my head around episode 2 because there was so much it was so much involved in it. And I think like one of the things that I looked at was, first of all, Kirby. Some people are going to say she's chaotic, she's this, she's that, whatever. Fantastic, I loved it. Even though I do love David, it was like, yeah, like I appreciate anybody who sees the writing on the wall 3 moves ahead and figures out how to grab the power. And one of the few like I've seen King George before, not a fan, but I've seen Shawnee on her first season and I love her. So anything that keeps Shawnee on the Australian side in longer, I'm a huge fan of. And I think that's what this does. It looks like Shawnee and Kirby are each other's number ones. I'm here for it. And I think that King George, who I find annoying, I think that he kind of showed his ass as well. So I kind of appreciate that that's what he did. He is, you know, he is, King George is quite most likely going to be the next boot. And I think that nobody can blame anybody for booting him next. So, uh, and I also wonder how much of this voting out David is a reaction to the World Tribe voting out Rob. You vote out meat for meat, and I think like it allows some of the players who have less less physical stature, I guess you could say, less concerned about challenge strength, you know. And let's face it, these tribes are pretty well matched. I would say that the men on the World Tribe are slightly better, but I would say the women on the Australian tribe are better. Ever so slightly. And in terms of challenge strength, not in terms of like strategic or social strength or whatever. So, very, very hopeful for this season. And it also looks like Luke, if they got any, you know, they decided they wanted to get rid of Luke at any given time on the Australian tribe. Well, he's got an idol, so he should be protected, but that doesn't always mean that he will be. So we'll just have to wait and see. But other than that, I uh, can't complain. So yeah, we'll just end it at that. I'm very excited that I'm going to be trying to update you all with the new videos when maybe I should update it after a few hours when it has already come out, and so give you guys some time after work to be able to watch Australian Survivor. But I will be uploading those videos, and they'll probably be taken off at some point. But it is what it is. It should be shown on an American network so we can see our American faves, but it isn't. So this is how we got to do it. So, Survivor fans, we gotta look out for each other. So, I wish you all well. Please like and subscribe and comment. That helps other Survivor fans to be able to see these videos and find it in their algorithm. So I appreciate you all and take care.